everyone, this is Alice. I'm sorry it's taken so long for me to post a video, but I am actually overseas for the next... I've been overseas for a month and I'm going to be away for another month. And I'm in my hotel room right now, but I felt really terrible about not making any videos, and I sort of really wanted to make one because I do enjoy making them. But I couldn't think of what to make. And then I thought, well, I have my books here, and books are one of my passions. So I brought 12 books with me along on this 2-month holiday. I'm in Thailand at the moment, so it's lovely and warm here. It's such a beautiful country. So the first book that I wanted to show you, now there will be no spoilers for any of these books. I won't show the blurbs, and I won't spoil anything, so don't worry. So first of all, at the top here I have Stephen Erickson's Reaper's Gale, A Tale of Malazan, Book of the Fallen. So Malazan. The author, Stephen Erickson, is Canadian, and I actually think that he pronounces it as Malazan. But I like to say Malazan because that's how I say it in my Australian accent. And this is a beautiful cover. It's a massive book. I'm halfway through it so far. And I was reading this, and then I was about halfway through, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take a break, even though Malazan series is my absolute favourite series, and this is the 7th book in that series, but it's very big. This is like, I won't show you, like 700 pages so far, and I have, I can show you the bookmark that I have maybe. It's an Alice in Wonderland bookmark. So I don't want to pull it out because I don't want to lose the page, but there's Alice after my name, and there's Alice in Wonderland with the flamingo that she picks up. So Malazan is amazing. It's dark fantasy, but even though it's dark, it is full of compassion and hope, and despite everything going wrong, there is a lot of positivity, and it's my favourite book for a reason, my favourite series for a reason. It's just so beautiful. So that is the first one that I have here. I only have brought 2 bookmarks with me. I have this one, it's one of my favourites, so it's a bit tattered. This is back when Book Depository was a company. They no longer exist, but Amazon bought them out and then, I guess, destroyed them because they were competing with Amazon book selling. But this one, they were usually designed by like artists who like submit their art, and it would say so Michaela from Croatia, whose personal favourite was The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. Yeah, Neil Gaiman isn't so great of a person now that we know that, but anyway, it's like a fox crossing this road. I think it's really pretty. Anyway, put that over there. The next book I have here is a manga. It's called Blue Period, and this is the 8th volume. And Blue Period is about an art student. It follows a boy or a young man called Yatoro Yuguchi, and he is a bit of like a jock, like a cool guy, and he wants to become an artist, but he doesn't know anything about art, so he joins an art club, and he decides to make art his passion. And this is not Yatoro, by the way. Each sort of cover has like a different character, but Yatoro is I could show you what it looks like, but I don't have the first volume with me, so I don't want to spoil anything in case for any viewers. But I would say that if you don't like art, then this probably isn't for you. It's still an amazing series, but I think that if you like art, it doesn't just have to be painting, even though this is about painting art. If you like sculpture, or if you like knitting or crafting, a lot of the principles, the idea of working on our creativity and overcoming creative blocks, and the community around art, and all of the challenges and inner demons and inner troubles that we have is still relevant. So I would suggest this if you're any kind of creative person, even if you're not a painter. But I think there's 13, maybe 14 volumes, so maybe more than half, or about halfway through. Or about more than halfway through. So there is that. Next we have Majora. I think that's how you say it. This is the first volume, so I can show you the back of it. Mujina Into the Deep. So this is by Eniru Asano, who is my favorite mangaka or manga author, and he is just amazing. And I have, as you'll see here, I have Pun Pun here, but I'll show you those. And Pun Pun is my absolute favorite manga that I've ever read, and I've not finished it yet, but I'm towards the end of it. So I decided to buy another one of Eniru Asano's mangas, and this is the first one in a series, and this is like his latest series. I have not started it yet, but this is a bit more of a sci-fi, I think, whereas earlier works of Eniru Asano, definitely they're like pretty crazy, but they're still sort of set in the real world. So that will be really, I think the cover is just amazing. I think it looks really cool. No life but the one you make, no rights but the ones you take. Next we have Nana, and Nana I think is quite famous. This is the first volume as well, and this is by a Yazawa. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. And this is the first volume as well, so I won't spoil anything by showing you the back. It's about Nana Komatsu, a young woman, and I think it's just a wholesome tale about, I think there's two girls called Nana, and they live together, and they sort of grow up in Tokyo together, and it's about young adulthood, early adulthood, and learning about themselves. I think I haven't started it. But from what I heard, it sounds really nice and really beautiful, so that's why I bought that one. Next we have a Terry Pratchett novel, Masquerade, and I'm sure most people have heard of Terry Pratchett, at least if you're a reader, like someone who reads a lot of books. And this one is the 18th Discworld novel. And if you know anything about Discworld, then you know that you can sort of read any book in any order, really. I think it's best to read from publication order, and that's what I do. So this is the 18th one. Although I did make an exception with the Moist von Lipwig book, so I've read Going Bristol and Making Money just because they sounded really cool and I really liked those. But apart from those two, which are a lot later on in the series, this is chronologically the 18th Discworld book, and this is about opera. I thought opera, how can it be? Songs, pretty girls dancing, nice scenery, lots of people handing out cash. Got to be better than the cutthroat world of yogurt, I thought. Now everywhere I go, there's death, to be precise, and plenty of it in many variations. This isn't real life, it's worse. This is the opera house, Ankh-Morpork. That's dress with a penchant for lurking in shadows, occasional murder, and sending little notes full of maniacal laughter and exclamation marks. Opera can do that to a man. But Granny Weatherwax, this is a witches. So within Discworld, there is sort of like sub-stories, and there's the witches, there is the Moist Fun Litwig, there is the Guards, and I think the Guards is the most popular one. The Night Watch Guards, there's the Death Ones, and then there is the Rincewind, which is the Wizard, and the first two books are about Rincewind. Most people don't like those, but I really did. Anyway, but Granny Weatherwax, Discworld's most famous witch, is in the audience, and she doesn't hold with that sort of thing. That's one of her quotes. She doesn't hold with that sort of thing, so she's very stubborn, and she's very much like, if I don't like it, then I'm going to do something about it. So there's going to be trouble, but nevertheless a good evening's entertainment with murders. You can really hum, and the show must go on. That sounds very exciting. I can't wait to read that one. The hardcovers are always really cool. Next one I have is Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. Now this one might be a bit controversial because I have read maybe 9 of Brandon Sanderson's books, and this also did not finish. I'm halfway through it, as you can see. This is very big. This is the 4th book in the Stormlight Archive series. So I got into Brandon Sanderson because I read the Wheel of Time series, and because Robert Jordan, who was the author of Wheel of Time, passed away, sadly, Brandon Sanderson took over as the author and finished it was meant to be one last book with Brandon Sanderson, and Robert Jordan's wife, who was his editor, decided that it would need 3 more books, and so Brandon Sanderson sort of like co-wrote the last 3 books. So the last 3 books of the Wheel of Time series were written by Brandon Sanderson, but based on what Robert Jordan's notes and his preparations were. And then I heard that Stormlight Archive was very popular, and I've not read any other of Brandon Sanderson's works except for the Stormlight Archive, so I've read 3.5 of these, and I also read 2 novellas. So there was the one, maybe it was called Edge Dancer, and I don't know, I'm not sure, but there was 2 novellas. One was about a girl who could slide, and one was about a girl who was disabled, and she was like a sailor and went to an island. But anyway, I really struggled to finish this. I found that the first 2 books in this series were really great, and then it started to get a bit bloated, and I started to really not enjoy it. I don't know if I will ever finish this, but I brought it along just in case I wanted to finish. I know the 5th one has just come out as well, but really, I don't know. To be honest, I love a lot of Brandon Sanderson's ideas. I don't love the way he writes, and especially the way he seems to be writing later on in his books. Anyway, next we have, this is such a funny name, Dead Demons, D Destruction. And again, this is by Enier Asano, who wrote the Bun Bun, and the same author as Midgeur in the Deep. And this is another sci-fi. And sorry, that was just my speaker turning off. Sorry about that. Again, another one by Enier Asano. This is the first volume. I haven't started it yet. 3 years ago, the aliens invaded Tokyo. Nothing was the same ever again, but after a while, even impending doom starts to feel ordinary. The Japanese self-defense force are still looking for a way to combat the alien threat, but so far conventional weapons have had no effect. Maybe it's time to try something unconventional. enthusiastically study for college entrance exams. When the end of the world looms overhead, you learn to take things one step at a time. I really like that premise because it's like, if the world is ending, do you still have to go to work and school? You know, like, you don't know. It's like, I like that premise. You know, like, aliens have invaded, but they're still going to university. Next we have Ian M. Banks, the algebraist. So I know Ian Banks through the Culture series, which is probably my favourite sci-fi series, and I've read 6 out of 10 Culture books. And this is a one-off book by him, and it's another sci-fi book. And I won't read the whole thing, but it's, if you want to pause and read that blurb, you can, but I won't bore you with it. But it's a sci-fi, and Ian Banks writes amazing sci-fi. He sadly has passed away now. He's a Scottish author, and he wrote amazing books. So I'm really excited to read this. I'm going to read this before I go back to finishing the other Culture books. And I don't know why that's dirty. That's annoying. Anyway. Okay, we have 4 left. So we have Tokyo Ghoul. If you're familiar with manga, you've probably heard of this one. Again, this is volume 1. I haven't started it yet. I'm a bit wary about starting too many new mangas because I'm already reading Berserk and Blue Period and Attack on Titan and Bun. The only other manga I've ever read and finished is Blam. But anyway, Tokyo Ghoul is about ghouls in Tokyo. Yeah. And that is by Sui Ishida. This book here is called Tales of a Beth. It's very short. And this is a novella consisting of 3 short stories by Mark Lawrence. And these 3 short stories are based in the universe of Book of the Ancestor, which is the Red Sister, Grey Sister, and Holy Sister stories. And they're about nuns, but they're nuns in a nunnery, but they're like badass nuns who can fight, and they're like soldiers, like ninja nuns. They're so cool. Anyway, return to the frozen world of Abeth in 3 short stories set around the Book of the Ancestor trilogy, and these are the names of the 3. So I just read that really quickly. Which is strange, terrible, and wonderful thing it is to be your friend Nona Grey. Nona Grey is the protagonist and heroine of the story. And lastly, we come to Bun. So, actually I have these not in order. So I brought the 5th and the 6th English versions of Bun. So there's 13 Bun volumes, but in English, in these versions, there's only 7, so they put 2 into each of the first 6, and then the 7th one consists of just 1 volume. So the 7th one is a lot shorter, but I just finished this one today. A few hours ago, I was lying by the pool, and I finished this one. I love Bun or Bun. I think it's pronounced Oyasami. And I don't know how to describe it. It's very sad, it's very tragic. Bun will make you cry. It's about life, it's about tragedy, it's about everything, but Nihiro Asano is just my most favorite mangaka, because, and also what's really cool is when you have all of these, when you have all 7, you start to see the shape, like there's the eye, and then the shape. All 7 on the bookshelf makes a Bun, and Bun is the main character, Bun Onodera, and he is this character. years old and he's so cute. He's like this big, and he's such a cute little bird. Anyway, we're at 20 minutes long, so I'm going to finish this here, but I would really recommend you to read Goodnight Bun Bun. Some people are a bit dramatic online and say, oh, this will like ruin your life. I think that's a bit dramatic, and I think they're just looking for attention, maybe, or maybe it does ruin their life. I don't know. I definitely think that from every book that we read, we take things away from it, for good or for bad. Usually for good. I think we grow as people, and maybe because Bun Bun is very negative, maybe it did make people feel depressed. So I don't mean to invalidate anyone's feelings. If it did ruin someone's life, I'm really sorry to hear that. But I don't think that Bun Bun is so scary people make it out to be, that I've honestly seen people online saying, oh, I'm too scared to read Bun Bun. It's, don't worry about that. It's not that bad. But it has explicit content, so I would suggest that only adults should read this. I don't think that if you are, maybe if you are 16 or older, you should read this, or maybe 18, probably 16 is young enough. Anyway, these are all my books. I'm not gonna put, okay, where's it gonna stay? Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, there's all my books. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye bye.